Wayne Gardner out last year in the final round of the Formula Ford Driver to Europe Series. Wayne's career going on very nicely on two wheels at the moment. Alongside him, Peter Verheyen.
Car 24 is David Roberts from Queensland. Might be a bit of a dark horse in this race. He's qualified extremely well, third position on the grid. He doesn't figure in the championship point score.
Well, he's fourth. He's got 30 points, but he's a long way down on leader Peter Verheyen. Yeah. That's right. Dave's an old motocrosser from way back in the old mini bike and junior days. I've known him since he was in his young teens, and believe you me, he is a very, very strong driver. And it's taken him a long time to get a competitive car, and these Van Diemen's that come out of England are really on the money. That's the car, beautiful looking thing, very sleek, very quick, and giving cars like the Australian-built Elwins, like, for example, Andrew Gubbs driving, a real caning at the moment.
Field of 36 cars here. If they were running a reverse grid, then Nick Mittenway would be on pole position, but he's not. He's at the rear of the grid. Had a lot of trouble in qualifying with his car, just couldn't get it going right, so he's got a big task in front of him.
He certainly has in this field this afternoon. Seven's race cam team once again on hand at Oran Park for the Shell Ultra National Touring Car Final this afternoon. We'll be bringing pictures not only out of the Formula Ford, also out of sports sedans, the Group E cars, and of course the Tourers. We'll be riding with Glenn Seaton this afternoon, and also with Alan Grice.
Half a minute, 25 seconds, 20 seconds in fact to the flag. Walters pulls the face down on his helmet. And they are set to go. 15 laps of Oran Park.
Strong start from Peter Verheyen as he flicks his visor down in car number 13. The inside running as they use this long straight. It's the Grand Prix course at Oran Park. Verheyen in the lead. David Roberts making a very strong move on the outside. Jeffrey Walters in third position, the yellow car. But it's Verheyen, the pole sitter, who goes through the left-hander for the first time and in control. Roberts on the outside of him. He's done a very, very good job. Yeah, and Jeffrey Walters just getting shuffled out, Wilco.
I thought he was going to get caught out wide there, Roberts, but he's done very well to slot into second spot, going under the bridge for the first time.
Some shuffling back in the pack. Walters managing to hang on to that third spot, one car length behind the top two. Very hard for these guys very early in this race with relatively cold brakes and cold tyres, and as you mentioned earlier on, Gary, when we opened the show, the track is very, very cold and conditions are beginning to get a little overcast. It'll take these guys a good lap or maybe even two to get settled right into the groove. But Verheyen's the man who's done the job so far in this series. This was where the series opened back in February in pretty wet and greasy conditions, and they make their return appearance amidst a bit of controversy. There's been points taken off drivers from the first round where there was a pretty nasty prank, then given back to them for this weekend, and it's Peter Verheyen who leads the field at the end of lap number 1. 14 to go. Jeff Walters the mover in the yellow car.
Look at Roberts down the outside.
Roberts making a big run here, but he'll have to tuck in. Verheyen exits the bottom turn now beneath the bridge, the Yokohama Bridge, and running down now to the right-hander. Some spirited racing up front.
Robert Bennett's come up very quickly in car number 22. He's the white car, fourth position.
Yeah, and Gary Jones tucked in behind him in fifth.
Jones is doing a great job in the older vehicle.
Free-flowing corners at Oran Park Raceway when they use the Grand Prix circuit. Verheyen, though, continues to lead as they work the back part of the course now.
Jeff Walters in third position there, car number 10 with a new sponsor this weekend. He's out of Wollongong and welcomes Systime to the team. Mag wheel manufacturer from the south coast. Here's Jeff Walters, and he's a pretty strong performer. Remember him from a couple of years ago in the Logan Holmes entry.
David Roberts coming out of that turn just a little sideways, but working on Verheyen now. Across the stripe here at Oran Park. Roberts tucks in now, goes for the run down the inside. Verheyen keeps it wide as they make the approach down to the left-hander. Roberts carrying on and takes the bite. Look at Waters trying to close up two under brakes and will do it.
David had a glance in his left mirror. He was wondering whether anybody was coming through on the inside. He got away with it. It was a great manoeuvre. Good strong braking, and tail of the car just getting a little waggly as he came down to the left-hander, but he survived. He's now got a one car length lead. These cars all using exactly the same rubber. It's a grooved slick tyre, an Avon tyre on these cars, Wilco.
I'm glad you pointed that out. Most of our viewers, of course, wouldn't realise that. The car's racing on that particular type of tyre. And for Roberts, the car still looking a little twitchy. That's Verheyen. Had to settle into third spot now. Roberts and Walters up ahead of him.
And getting closer is Waters as he comes down on the inside of Roberts and will take the lead on the inside. Beautiful time pass. They come out of Castrol Corner and now work the Shell front straight here at Oran Park. Number 10, Jeff Walters has gone through now to lead. Can Roberts come back? Verheyen sits in their draft as they head down to the left-hander, and here comes Roberts again. Down on the inside of Waters. Verheyen still sits back there, but he's under a little bit of pressure himself at this stage. Waters thinks about it. The line was absolutely wrong that time. Verheyen, though, moved back up on the inside, but he's got the wrong line for the next turn.
Gee, David was lucky to get through that time. He was skating on thin ice.
Good race, this. Motorcraft Formula Ford Driver to Europe Series, sponsored each and every year by Ford through their Motorcraft banner. Pity, really, that we haven't seen too many of the other rounds on our scheduled telecast. Unfortunately, they haven't coincided this year, and that's perhaps something that the organisers can do, or the convener can look into for next year, amongst other things.
Just in behind the leading division, I spot car 25, and that's Mike Mortimer. Qualified well, came off 5th position on the grid, got shuffled back early, but is now getting himself sorted out and is making a concerted effort to bridge the gap just on the tail of the leading division. Roberts in front.
Great shot as they come out of the bottom turn here at Oran Park, back onto the start finishing straight. Roberts once again comes down. Waters pressuring here, looking for an inside run. Can't do it this time. Verheyen still sits back in third. Little skatey that time, even with the tyres, in the case of Avon calling that time. Beneath the Yokohama Bridge.
These guys really do a 10-10th job in these cars. Last year's winner of the series is doing very, very well. Thomas Mazira, gone to England. As the name of the series says, driver to Europe. He's over there now and starting to figure very well. Should I say the year before? It was Warwick Brooklyn, I should say, in '86. My apologies, Warwick.
Case of plain sailing for Warwick last year. Roberts still leads. Waters very, very close indeed to his car. If anything goes wrong up front, Verheyen's going to be there to pick up the pieces at the moment, though. He's been out-marshalled and outgunned. And, of course, we pick up on race cam. Andrew Gubb carrying race cam over the dog leg. That'll give you some indication of the downhill run to the left-hander. Dives here on the inside.
Well, he made the move and did it successfully. Not too many spots that you can really make an effective pass on this track, according to some of the guys this morning. Andrew now just having a bit of a look on the inside, but he's whistling in from a long way back, and those gaps can close pretty quickly, as we've seen before on 7 race cam.
How come you got past 5 people in the sports sedan warm-up?
Coming back to the leaders. David Roberts still leads.
Some bad news. Gary Jones seems to have gone missing from this leading bunch. He was car number 9, the older Van Diemen model. Has been carrying race cam in some of the Formula Ford rounds.
Once again, Waters keeps pressuring Roberts. He's all over him coming down through here. Tail out on Waters that time through the right-hander.
I think there'd be a reasonable suggestion that Verheyen is more than likely starting to think about protecting his points here as well, Mike. He's got 65 to Jeff Walters' 38. He's in a nice solid third position and keeping it all straight.
Here comes Waters again on the inside of Roberts and takes him. Good pass.
So Verheyen's just waiting for these two to bring each other undone up front, I think.
Well, they're doing a great job so far and not exchanging any paint or rubbing wheels, which is very, very dangerous in open wheel racing.
Is this wide enough for you? 3 wide at that stage. Roberts back and sideways, and he's gone. Now he's got to try and keep it. Will he do it? Yes, he does.
Sensational.
Unbelievable.
He's dropped 2 spots, but I mean, even that is just an incredible performance.
That's a Dunny Sullivan at Indy trick. Keep in mind, right back behind him, every other driver is now reaching for the Panadols. They don't really know what's happened, but he managed to keep it under control. He's only dropped back to third.
Oh, I found my man in the match already. Yes. That was a great act.
Let's have a look at this on the Shell Ultra replay. Roberts. Zippity-doo-dah. Waters, my goodness me, thought he was coming back at him. And of course, Waters went by. Verheyen did the same trick, and that put Roberts back to third. You saw it on our Shell Ultra replay. Meantime, we rejoin the race live.
Keke Rosberg did that at Long Beach in California a few years ago in Formula One. There are not too many guys who can boast getting out of a spin at that speed and picking up their spot and carrying on. He's in good company.
Doing it is easy. Getting it back in shape again is the hard bit.
Jeff Walters leading the race, just about to cross the start-finish line, which will leave them 8 laps remaining. Peter Verheyen in second place. The survivor, Roberts. In 3.5 laps remaining here in the Formula 4 Driver to Europe Series race at Oran Park. And it's Jeff Walters leading Peter Verheyen. They've now got the break on Roberts after that mid-race spin that he had. Was lucky to survive it, but survive he did. He's still out there battling, but he's got a job to do now. 1-2 in the series. They're running 1-2 on the track. Well, 2-1 on the track.
I'll let you dig that hole and get yourself out of it, Wilco.
Thank you very much. Even if they were to finish the way they are now, it wouldn't affect the overall series lead, though, because Peter Verheyen has really been the most consistent winner through the season. Walters goes through, then Verheyen, then Roberts, then come the next division.
Good to see Jeff Walters back and looking competitive.
Apart from his sponsors this time, he also has a consortium of Wollongong businesses backing him as well. So he had a big grin yesterday. Look at Verheyen here having another nibble. Jeffrey's car just getting a little sideways. Ezzy had a big grin and suggested that now that he had the right kind of budget, he was really looking forward to embroiling himself in a battle. He's got one in his hands at the moment. Verheyen giving him plenty.
Well, Verheyen, of course, who won pole position yesterday, 2/10 quicker than Jeff Walters. But he's been able to see Walters and, of course, David Roberts broil themselves in a bit of tit-for-tat early in this race. He might be around to pick up the pieces with about 4 laps remaining. Beautiful shot. Of course, coming from our 7 chopper high above Oran Park Raceway. Captain Frank Van Ries. Pictures coming from Doug Hampson up there.
When you look at it from that angle, it looks like a crazy maze. Which way do I go? There are a few varieties of courses here. The Oran Park Motorsport Complex is kept busy virtually 52 weekends a year, Mike, with kart racing, endurance karts and sprint karts, motocross, all kinds of things.
Yes, but from the air, it's hard to pinpoint where it all goes. However, this great scrap continues. Jeff Walters. And, of course, Peter Verheyen. Oh, and Verheyen has gone in almost the identical spot. Can he catch it back? That's going to move Roberts up to second.
No, he couldn't. Lost power. He's stuck there.
Not the best place in the world to be seated. Yeah, I know, but there's not much we can do about it. He wants a push to get off and running.
Well, Jeff Walters is left with a big lead now with 3.5 laps remaining.
That's interesting for the points because... And here's the Shell Ultra replay of just exactly what happened, and Verheyen really just turning in a bit early and got all locked up and then manages to just wedge the Van Diemen on top of the ripple strip. And he's still battling down there at the moment. There's 30 points up for a win in this series, and whilst he was protecting his point score nicely with a good minor placing, if actually drop out of the running, Wilco, and dump that 30 points, you see Walters has got 38 and could be looking good here for 30, and all of a sudden it gets very interesting. Am I saying 30? I mean 20, I'm sorry. So, all in all, it means the next round of the series at Amaru Park on the 2nd of August for the Hardy Irrigation 100 is going to be very interesting.
Here comes our race leader, Jeff Walters. Down through Masterton Holmes Corner. The exit now, beneath the Yokohama Bridge.
Jeff, by the way, was the winner of the last round of the series up in Surfers Paradise on May the 24th when we were up there with the Shell Ultra Australian Touring Car Championship. Unfortunately, owing to some time problems, we didn't get to see the boys. The race was run after the touring car title, and they tell me it was an absolute humdinger. So Walter's now really starting to breathe just a little easier. His form so far in the championship, 2 fifth placings. Round 3 was the disastrous one, only a 9th placing out of that. That was not the way he would have liked it, to say the least. He's a real upfront man, Jeff Walters. He likes to be at the head of the pack, and he has a real grumble when he's not.
The departure of Peter Verheyen, albeit temporarily there, has moved Andrew Gubb up another spot in 6th position on the racetrack now, just behind Laurie Bennett and Mike Mortimer. And the top 3, of course, Jeff Walters, David Roberts and Robert Bennett. Bennett in car 22, inheriting 3rd place there once Verheyen got hung up on the curve. Jeff Walters.
Straight back out in front.
That's a ride on the wild side for car number 81. That's Stephen Mitchell.
Goodness me, how on earth did he manage to get away with that and not T-bone everybody coming out the other side?
How lucky was Jeff Walters?
Exactly what I was just thinking.
If he'd had wings, he'd be in Camden by now.
Let's have a look at this. Watch Walters in the yellow car. 81.
A little bit of motocross.
That's a bit of Shell Ultra High. And Walters changes in midstream and goes through on the inside. That was good driving on Walters' part. They get the Panadols, it's up to the dry cleaning when they take the checker here.
Got a bit of work to do on the suspension following that little incident. No such worries, though, for Jeff Walters. Sigh of relief after that incident. And he's lining it up for the checkered flag. Comes down the main straight here at Oran Park, and out goes the flag, and Jeff Walters takes the victory. Thank you very much, he says, after today's round of the Formula Ford Driver to Europe Series. Well done. The mishaps befell the other 2 top contenders for today's round, David Roberts and Peter Verheyen, and that's the way it panned out. Jeffrey Walters on the Castrol scoreboard takes the victory. David Roberts 2nd, and Robert Bennett 3rd. 1, 2, 3 in the Motorcraft Formula Ford Driver to Europe Series.